Casting my nymphing rig out there, I'm going to roll it over here. It's kind of like a high-end sloppy mend. That just allows the flies to sink and get in position with the indicator. Now I'm just going to give it a tight but loose line approach as it's just nicely drifting along. Down to the end of the pool. You'll let it swing out. And now it's a matter of just retrieve it as quick as you can because we're not fishing. We just want to get this fly in and get it back through the run again. In this situation, all in one motion, I'm going to keep the line tight, flick it up. One nice overhand cast to position the fly where I want it. Allowing the flies to sink now. I'm going to do a big rollover. Now the flies are positioned straight out from the indicator. And I got my rod tip down at the water, ready for the strike upstream. There I just, you notice I just pulled the flies or the indicator off bottom there, and I just allowed the drift to go. You notice how nice and straight my line is? As I let it go, I only let out the line as I need to. Most people put out too much line and then you got too loose a line out there for the hook set. Back in the run again. Nice straight line again. I don't want to drag my indicator, I just want to roll it over now. That allows the flies to sink. Nice straight line from the indicator to my last mend. I'm just going to straighten that out. So I got a direct. And I'm just giving it line as it needs it. So here you can see the big black egg sucking leech I have on here. Lead dumbbell eyes to get it down, tied to a loop knot. So it'll give it lots of movement. And then for a tag fly, I do another loop knot and run to my little, basically nymph right there. Here I have a swimming nymph on the back end, which gives me a nice trailer behind the main morsel, I like to think. But actually I'm covering two spectrums here. One big streamer pattern, one nice little nymph pattern with these two loop knots. Never get a tangle. It works really well.
Now, Mike, we're fishing extremely clear water today, and I'd like you to explain to the people at home the importance of fluorocarbon as it has to do with this clear water.
Yeah, right. Fluorocarbon, obviously a relatively new product, but you know, just the fact that it's basically invisible in the water and the diameter is that much thinner than any of the mono from before, I find it makes a big difference, especially in the rivers I fish that are as clear as they are all the time. And the strength of a 6-pound fluoro, for example, is quite superior compared to any 6-pound other stuff.
Now, any special knots that we need for fluorocarbon?
I find the traditional knots all work. I like the double surgeon's knot, or throw in a triple if you want. And then I use a blood knot to join if I'm breaking my leader down, where I know I'm not going to be using it a lot.
Now, the idea of fluorocarbon that I was always brought to my attention was that it is denser, it does sink a little better for getting your flies down. It is a little tougher, a little more brittle, but it's actually what you need in this clear water.
Yeah, especially strength-wise.
Yes.
It's a big difference.
Okay.
Okay, what strengths? Let's why don't you pick up the spool and tell me what you're.
Have you got a regular spool of frog hair we can compare diameters?
What do you mean? Like,
so you can get away with 8-pound, or you can get away with 8-pound tests where before
10.
Regular you'd have to go
Or
with
6.
4 or
Yeah.
6-pound tests.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's cover that.
okay.
Go for it.
So for example, with some of the new fluorocarbons such as this frog hair, before, you know, to get the same kind of clarity of the line in the water, I would have to go with a 4-pound or 6-pound mono. Now I'm able to use 8-pound, for example, to fish the same type of clear waters. Before that I would have to do it with a 4-pound. Very tough line, very abrasive resistant. You know, today, for example, I pulled out one of my streamers and actually broke the hook off. So that gives a testament to the strength of fluorocarbon.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about flies for the area. Any specific patterns that you're really stuck on?
Yeah, Bill, there's a few consistent of the good old favorites in mine. I really like the traditional hare's ear, pheasant tail. A few of these are some specialty patterns, an evil weevil, copper john, you know, a shrimp pattern. But when it comes down to it, hare's ear is probably my #1 go-to fly.
It is with about everybody else too.
Yeah,
isn't
not
it?
to mention, that's when you're doing the nymphs, and obviously steelhead, a big time of year, they're feeding on eggs, and single egg patterns. You'll notice here I have a multiple colors. If I was to pick one, I like peach, but more natural looking than anything. But I've caught them everything from the bright greens to the dull yellows.
Mm-hmm. Now, water conditions dictating where you go with them as far as whether you use a bright colored fly or a dull colored fly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
time
important.
time of year, flow, how fast they get a look
Right,
at it,
right.
and then along with color, obviously is size.
Right.
You know, a bigger one maybe in some colored water, and a nice small, realistic looking
Yeah,
one in clear
yeah.
water.
Okay.
Good. Keep that fly box right where it is. Open it up. No, hang on.
I want the other side too with the nymphs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it in a second.
You didn't point to any of them, so we can do that, but just sort of run your finger.
Yeah.
Okay, flip it over.
You just ran your finger
Yeah.
up, started at the bottom one up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, let's do the egg sucking leeches too, because
Okay.
now another pattern that we.
Okay,
You
go
just gonna
for it.
go to your pad there, or have you got
Yeah,
a box
yeah,
full
no,
on?
I'm going to grab this one right here.
Okay, anytime.
Okay, just anytime, just
Yeah, just start
say
it.
another pattern that we
Okay.
have. Okay.
Another pattern we've been using today, Bill, that's obviously worked very well,
Yeah.
has been the good old traditional egg sucking leech. You know, here's one of my favorite ties right there, fairly simple, but using an orange bead of any sort and purple on the back end.
And the marabou is exactly the kind of material I would use, simply because it's so lifelike in the water. It pulsates.
Makes
It
it
looks
big.
like it's thin there, but as soon as the water hits it, it opens up, which is very good.
And it can be, you know, purple or black. Black's a
Right.
good old traditional favorite too. But a simple pattern swung and nymphed, either dead drifted, works very well.
But experiment with your colors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect swing right there. It's just nicely coming around, right, nice and tight.
I was just swinging the fly around, and all I felt was a stop, almost like a tightening of the line. I set the hook, and away we went. Now this one, as you see, I was stripping inline because he ran towards me. Now I got him on the reel. And this feels like a decent fish. Mike was right, the fog is helping. I'm probably going to have to get out and fight this fish. Walk with him. Oh, what a deadly hit. What a deadly hit. I was just swinging in the current here and waiting for the line to, I was hoping for a big bang, but it just stopped. So your hits don't necessarily have to be savage. They can be subtle like this one. What I'm using is a purple marabou leech, and it's got an orange head on it. I think because of this bit of a low light we got, that's what probably attracted him. Oh, he's coming in for me. Very strong fish at this time of year. Now he's gonna run on me. I'm gonna have to get out.
Good thing I tied up some of those new leeches last night, eh, Bill?
Yeah, that's for sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, oh yeah. He's operating with us here. He's heading back this way. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Very good fish.
Just at the head of the pool, he picked that fly up, eh?
There he goes. On about mid-swing, the fly stopped.
But it was
And
at the
that's when it
head,
took him.
head of the pool, right
Yeah.
here, eh, in the slacker water.
Yeah. This is quite a long pool, and we were starting at the top. Which we'll talk about the tactic itself with Mike when we're done here. How we're taking apart these pools. We're not just barging into a pool. We're starting at the top and working our way down. Get out from underneath there.
Well, just don't move, Barry. There he's right here. There we go.
Oh, good
Nice
fish.
hen. Nice
Good fish.
little hen.
And an excellent.
So when she comes up, lift the head and go towards me. Now pull. Let's do this again here.
Ready?
Oh, just tighten up and go out and then come in. Head first.
I'm right at the leader there.
That's all right. You got this. You got
Okay, ready?
11-pound floral. You're fine.
Ready? And nicely done. All right.
Look at that nice egg sucking leech right in the corner of the mouth there. So that's a fully purple marabou egg sucking leech with a big orange bead. And it's tied out of one complete feather, which makes it very, you can see how it's moving in the water there, just out of the mouth. I'll simply go in and unhook that.